All right, everybody, welcome back for another one. And I wanted to start this video off with arguably the most important information once again in the crypto space as of now. So, federally chartered banks and thrifts may participate in independent node verification networks and use stablecoins for payment activities. It reads, while governments in other countries have built real-time payment systems, the United States has relied on our innovation sector to deliver real-time payments technologies. Some of those technologies are built and managed by bank consortia, and some are based on independent node verification networks such as blockchains. All right, so what's really happening here in short is banks can run nodes, right, for blockchain. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Stellar, okay? But what is most important in here to me is you have to pay attention to the language, right? Real-time payment system. That's not Ethereum. That's not Bitcoin, okay? United States innovation sector. That's also not Bitcoin. That's also not Ethereum, okay? That is Ripple and Stellar, period, all right? And what have Ripple and Stellar been doing? They've been building real-time payment technologies, all right? And they've been working with banks. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. I know that there's FUD going everywhere. XRP is going to zero, right? I'm going to talk about this a little more in detail next up. But I mean, what is actually happening right behind the scenes? I think it's pretty obvious, right? So Stellar has USDC moving to it. There's a euro being built on Stellar. And then Ukraine is also building their CBDC on Stellar, all right? And as we've always speculated here in the XRP community, there would come a time where retail would be forced out of XRP and it would be transitioned over to a wholesale asset, essentially. I think that's what's happening right now. They're not just going to outlaw it, right? Because it's not illegal, but it doesn't need to be in the hands of people. It was never intended to be in the hands of people, right? It's supposed to be a settlement asset between financial institutions, okay? Period. That's my personal opinion. All right, before I move on, I wanted to point out that, as I said yesterday, I moved some funds from Robinhood to my bank. Typically, Robinhood has taken like 5 to 7 business days to process a transfer, but I got it already in one day. You cannot tell me that they didn't use crypto for that. They had to have used crypto to process that, okay? So they're already doing it, in my opinion. This is already happening behind the scenes. They're not going to come out and tell us directly, hey guys, we're all using crypto to send back and forth. They're just going to use it. They don't have to tell us what they're using as their settlement layer, right? But the traditional ACH system takes typically 3 to 5 business days to process, all right? So that the fact that it's already there shows me what's going on behind the scenes, all right? Just wanted to point that out. Moving on. Time to look at the Bitcoin chart, all right? So we had a quick recovery from that dip yesterday, all right? We'll see how this plays out. Not making new highs yet. If we continue to make new highs, I wouldn't be surprised if this continues up, but it's still looking very similar to this pattern back in 2019 as of now. So I'm sure back then they were calling for kind of a bull pennant right here as well, right? They probably were looking at this saying, oh, this is about to break out. And then it did. And then it don't. So just be cautious, right? We don't know what's coming. It's hard to say, you know, are you a long-term buyer? Are you a trader? What you need to understand, what your personal strategy is, what your personal needs are, how much funds you have before you can make good decisions. But to me, Bitcoin looks like it's going to need to go lower and consolidate for a while before we continue up. So see what happens. But this will probably affect the mining stocks as well. Might not. Pay attention to what's going on, all right? Hedge your bets, essentially. All right. The misleading article of the day. The theme of the day for XRP, once again, Grayscale dumps XRP. Here's where it's putting the cash. Grayscale Investments is the latest major crypto player to drop its association with the Ripple token, right? No. That's not what's happening. I don't understand how people spin these articles out like this and everyone believes it. Did you read? Did you look at what they actually did? So what they did was they have a digital large cap fund, right? And they simply removed XRP from the digital large cap fund. Right? They said no other assets qualify for inclusion, right? That's none except for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. What do all these have in common? They're all proof of work coins. They all essentially are fairly slow and high fees, and they're safe plays from a legal standpoint. And Grayscale is a wealth manager, so they're going to have to take the risk out of the portfolio for one. And as I said, I still think there's more to the story, and I think that they are trying to scare everyone out of XRP. Personal opinion, right? Because it actually works. And to add more to that, right? Faulty data. Grayscale didn't liquidate massive amounts of XRP and XLM. Okay, this article came out just 5 days ago, and this was the same writer, right? This Sam Borgi guy. So then today, he's telling everyone that they're dumping XRP. Misleading title, right? They removed it from their large cap fund. That doesn't mean that they dumped it, right? So on this one, Grayscale spokesperson indicated that statements about large sales of underlying assets by any of our investment products are false and inaccurate, right? And their source of information is this Bybit page, right? So they had indicated that 9 million XRP was removed from the portfolio, and in reality, all they did was add 3 million XRP and 8 million stellar lumens. So they are adding a lot of XRP and stellar, not selling it. Next up, Bitcoin could hit 146,000 long term by crowding out gold, says JP Morgan. Right. So clearly, as I said, the narrative is Bitcoin, right? Going to pump to the moon. It's kicking out gold. It's the new global reserve asset. And it seems to me that's what they want us to believe right now. So they are going to pump Bitcoin. Right? And I do believe that short term, at least for this year, it will indeed pump like crazy. And it will bring up the other ones with it. The Ethereums, the Bitcoin Cash, and the Litecoin. Just as in the Grayscale fund. Right? So this fund, all of these assets will pump. Personal opinion. But I don't like when JP Morgan is bullish for Bitcoin, because in September 2017, as you guys probably have seen before, just going to reiterate, right? Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, slammed Bitcoin as a fraud, right? So in 2017, towards the end of the Bitcoin run, they were calling Bitcoin a fraud. And behind the scenes, JP Morgan was the largest buyer of an overseas Bitcoin ETF. These guys are criminals in suits, is what they are. And they get away with their own fraud all the time. So do what you want, all right? I just, there's something fishy about this entire story going on right now. But for the time being, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin will be beneficiaries of mainstream media, okay? And once again, the institutional herd is here. Bitcoin volume on CME and the LMAX hits new records. The institutional herd has arrived to the Bitcoin market as institutional platforms see record high volume. All right, perfect. So they are going to keep pushing the idea that Bitcoin is going to pump into oblivion. But when you have the institutional herd and the mainstream media, it probably will. That's why I'm saying. And those mining stocks will continue to be beneficiaries as well of this. Okay, so just keep it all in mind. But the reason why I say that I don't think this is a long-term thing is because it's very simple. Proof of work does not work for moving funds around the world, right? Financial institutions will not use these high fee networks to do low or high volume transactions overseas, right? These international movements, they're going to want them to be fast, efficient, and cheap. That's it, all right? They're not going to care about who mined what. They just want to send money from A to B as fast as they can and as cheap as they can, all right? The product and the utility will win in the end, personal opinion. And, as you can see here, go to Twitter and search for Ethereum fees. Everyone's talking about it right now. I'd use Ethereum blockchain more if the fees were cheap. Ethereum gas fees soaring again, basically making DeFi unusable, right? Goes on and on. Just search for this. You can see how Ethereum fees are ridiculous right here. Glassnode, Ethereum fees in the past 24 hours, $898,000, all-time high. So these miners are crushing it right now. Now's a great time to be mining Ethereum. Well, guess who's getting to mine Ethereum? Banks, right? Because they're running nodes. It all ties together, right? So pumping the proof of work, making that money. But in the end, the fast, efficient settlement layers, the real-time payment systems and technologies will be the winners, all right? So not saying that Ethereum and Bitcoin can't survive. I'm just saying they're not going to be that settlement asset. They are not going to be that settlement asset, okay? I don't see it, all right? And you can come over to Ethereum, look right at the network. You got transactions here, right, that are stuck, pending for an hour and 4 minutes, right? I've had one happen myself like this. I didn't send enough gas fees, and my Ethereum transaction was stuck for 3 hours, right? That is not what the new financial system is going to be based on. It's not. I'm sorry. It's pretty obvious, but you know what? It doesn't mean that the price won't go up, okay? So, last but not least, wanted to show you my portfolio update. I see the writing on the wall. I understand what's going on. So I decided to, as I said, take some of those Robinhood funds and move it into specific cryptos that I think are going to hit. All right. So I took $680 in one trade off for Riot Options, made 28 grand. So that's a lot of money to move around. First and foremost, I bought some Litecoin with it, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash. And I bought a little bit of Dogecoin just to have it, because that's the meme coin and it's probably going to pump. If it goes to $1, I'll laugh, essentially. Okay, so if Grayscale and the mainstream media is buying Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, I'm going to do so as well. And Grayscale has Ethereum Classic in their portfolio. All right. This isn't where I landed. This is me just throwing a few dollars here and there at some of the proof of work cryptos. But as I said, I moved a big chunk where I'm going to really start trickling down into the alts that I like. So I added I'm going to probably double my Hedera Hashgraph position. Same with Nex, I'm going to add some more there as well. I might buy more proof of work. Once again, I won't buy Bitcoin or Ethereum probably, because I think there's just more upside in the others personally. But now I'm going to start looking at some other alts. Like I said, Icon, maybe some XDC. I'll keep you guys updated. Right now, I haven't moved anything yet. Still doing my homework, trying to get a good idea of what I want to do. Might add some quant. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Right now, this is where I sit. Probably changed a lot since last time I showed you guys. I believe my Riot shares are still more than my XRP as well. So technically my Bitcoin exposure is still my largest holding, but it is in mining stocks. So that's where I sit right now. I'll keep you updated as I move along. Hope that was informative. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
What is a cashless society? What does it actually mean in a literal or a high-level sense?
Money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these.
Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Mobile payment transactions in China reached a cumulative total of 277.4 trillion RMB in 2018, ranking #1 in the world, according to the recently released statistical report on internet development in China. As of June 2019, online payment users in the country reached 633 million. The cashless society is now approaching.
When's the last time you paid with cash? Well, chances are cash is taking a backseat to the plastic in your wallet and smartphone pay apps.
Denver 7's Ryan Luby explains the digital pay revolution and why not everyone is on board.
The Cashless Society, the Cashless Society.
The Cashless Society.
The Cashless Society is now approaching.
The Cashless Society.